Hello, everybody. This is another edition of Ron's Roadside Stories, and this is one ugly baby right here, I'm telling you. So I apologize for the looks. Appreciate the little ones you have so they don't look like this. Sorry, I'm running out of costume, guys, so you're going to have to bear with me. Um, Actually, the costume for the baby here goes pretty good with the story I got for you tonight. Anyway, everybody always called me a baby growing up, and even today, I can never go to anywhere without having a hamburger with no onions on it. I cannot stand onions for the life of me. I can barely stand them now cooked in a spaghetti sauce or something, but from a young child till even now, I can't stand onions or raw onions or anything to do with onions. But and the story that has a lot of onions in it goes back many years. Dave Leving, Lisa Bouchard, they had a condo up in Quebec City, and they were nice enough to invite myself and Jen and Beetle and Cheryl to come on up and spend a few days with them up at their condo. So we jumped on the opportunity too. This was all before our kids came along and everything, so we had some freedom there. So we jumped in the old car, and actually it was Beetle and Cheryl's car. So myself and Jen tagged along for the ride up to Quebec. Of course, you can't make a road trip without making a stop for some lunch, especially when myself and Beetle are in the car. And so we hit up a Mickey D's on the way up, and we get in there, and same old thing. Everybody else orders, gets their food, no problem. Myself, I had ordered a Big Mac, or two Big Mac at that time, with no onions. So of course they got to make a special Big Mac, no onions, and Jen's already pissed off at me because I'm basically holding everybody up because of the no onions. But it's a thing I've done for many years. So anyway, of course, my Big Mac show up, and I get to the chair, and they've got onions on them, so I need to now return them, and everybody's sort of waiting for me. I'm going up, waiting in line for them to make my Big Mac with no onions, and while I'm up there, and since Jen is not with me anymore, I noticed they were having some hockey cards, and so I always loved my hockey cards back then, still do today, so I couldn't say no, but when Jen was beside me, I had to say no. So I was allowed 4 packs, so I maxed out, took the 4 packs, and I wasn't smart enough to just hide them. And so when I got back to the chair and sat down, she was already wicked pissed. They were all upset at me, of course, because it was like they were all done eating, and I had just barely sat down with my two Big Macs, no onions, and my French fries were cold, and my drink was starting to be no good with all the ice in it melting. So anyway, and then she notices the 4 packs of hockey cards at $2 a pack or whatever it was back then. So she starts to freak out on me saying, "Did you really need them damn hockey cards?" And she just wouldn't let it go. So the whole ride up to Quebec, it was you and your damn Big Mac with no onions, you and your stupid hockey cards. You didn't need them. It's not like it's a waste of money. And she let me have it. And for the entire trip up there, I had to hear about my Big Mac no onions and my damn hockey cards that even though I paid for them out of my own money, I still had to hear about it. But anyway, everybody got a great big joke out of that, and razzed me even till today for it. So and all the way up, I think, Beetle, you'll remember this one there. We're making good time, eh? We're making good time. I think every 30 minutes, Beetle would turn to us and say, "We're making good time, guys." And even if we were in a little bit of a traffic jam, he seemed to think we were making good time. So that was pretty funny. We listened to some good Hootie and the Blowfish all the way up. So I got to know most of their songs by heart. And then when we get up there, Lisa and Dave were nice enough to treat us to a nice spaghetti lunch. That was awesome. And then, it's nighttime, and we said, well, you know what? We're going to play a game of Pictionary, sorry. Girls against guys, and that was a bad thing right there. It should have been maybe couples. Well, no, that wouldn't have worked out either. So we were basically at a losing cause right there as soon as we said, let's play a game. So Pictionary, what it was, and myself and probably others at least, we can't play fair, so there was a little cheating involved, and the ladies weren't sharp at first to catch on because they couldn't understand how we could just draw a straight line, and we were guessing Brooklyn Bridge or something as crazy as that with just writing a line down. But we were smart enough. We'd have a piece of paper underneath the original paper we were drawing on, and we would just write the word of what we were trying to draw, and then we just pull it out. The guys would see it. We'd slide it back underneath, and we would wait till they were getting close, and then we would spit out the word. And then the one that did it in was it was check mark that I had to draw, and I was wearing a Nike hat at the time with a check mark on it. So while the girls were focused and everything on their own drawing, I just sort of reached up and pointed at my Nike check mark, and Beetle or Dave, one of them, just guessed it right away, and they caught us in the act, and then they ripped the paper away from us and noticed that we were drawing on it. So the ladies freaked out on all three of us, and we were all in the doghouse there, and God forbid we cheated, and that was it. So they threw a big fit, and so it wasn't just maybe they needed a sussy to suck on too, because they were a bunch of crybabies, and hey, we got caught, and we all had to sleep on the couch that night, I think. But no, we didn't. They forgave us, thank God. That wouldn't have been pretty, us three sleeping on the couch together. But anyway, that's pretty much the story I got for you tonight. Again, I'll be back tomorrow with something different. And for now, I got to. I'm feeling something coming on, a little sick to the stomach, so I think I'm going to go in and ask Jen to change my diaper. Lucky girl. So I've got a dirty diaper with a pin here ready for her, so let's see if she'll do it for me. So have a good night, everyone. We'll see you tomorrow.